In this video, we will learn moderation through process macro. We have already covered in our previous video moderation in Amos, as well as we had already compared moderation with SPSS. So now in this video, we have to run moderation through process macro. Then we will compare also all these values. So we have already finished install process macro in our previous video. I'm sure you have already installed process macro. Then after that, in this, because we have run in my mediation video, I have already explained how you have to install process macro. And after installing this process macro, select model number when we have to run. So in mediation, we have selected model number 4 because I will show you how you have to select, because templates already define which template you are running as per your model, as per your requirement. So you have to select that model number, which model number suits to your research. So select model number, then we have to run the process. So here is moderation. I had explained the same example. We are going to take perception of EV, and this one's the behavioral intention. I mean, what is the there is the any relationship between perception of EV and behavioral intention, whether it is a positive relationship, negative relationship, or after this introduction of this moderator government policy, this is a moderator, so this relationship is improved, it is a stronger relationship, or it is a weaker relationship. So we will try to find out there is any role of this government policy or not. So moderator, I had already given here moderator like catalyst, either it will stronger or weaker the relationship. Through this moderator, we are trying to find out whether this relationship is become stronger after entering this moderator, or this relationship is become weaker. So this is the role of the mediator. But when we talk about the mediation means it is the A leads to B, B leads to C. Right. This is the, I mean, one factor leads to this factor. I mean, in mediation, I had already explained you, this variable leads to this variable and this variable leads to this variable. So this is not the mediation. This is a moderator. So moderator means some third party intervention, or we can call it like in chemistry, we had already studied number of the equation, where is the catalyst role of the catalyst. The same is here. What is the role of this government policy in this? So it depends upon my data. So now what we have to do, let's say I will show you this relationship also, whether it is positive or negative, right, in SPSS. So first of all, what we have to do, we will, okay, fine. Once again, I'm just removing all these variables here. I will explain you once again how you have to calculate all these variables here. In our SPSS file, these are the total number of data is we can see here, total number 250, data is 250. These are this is the government policy, PV and all, right? So we require only these three things. One is the government policy, then the perception of EV, and behavioral intention. So now first of all, we want to get these standardized scores. So descriptive statistics, click on descriptives and reset this. I mean because I had already previously run, so we will reset this, and I want all these three variables z scores. So all this, okay, then this is these three variables, and I will click here, save the standardized values as variable. I will press OK. So now we will see here in our SPSS file, you can see here earlier these three columns were missing, but now these three columns are appear in our SPSS file. This is Z score of perception of EV, Z score of behavioral intention, Z score of government policy. Now we would like to see here is the interaction also. So because we could be able to compare this thing. So first of all, I will compute variable, right? Again, I'm just deleting this part. Interaction, right? I had given this heading of this variable is interaction. Interaction in between these two independent variables. First is Z score, this perception about EV, then it is multiplied and then it would be government policy. That means when we are taking together both these things, when we are taking together. So, right. So this government policy, right. So this is the interaction of this, then we will press OK. Then we can see whether this interaction is fine. Now the one more column is added, that is interaction. So interaction, I mean interaction in between, because behavioral intention is our dependent variable. These things are, so we are going to take this one is the both these interaction effect is here. So now one by one, we have to calculate through process macro also, through spss also, then we can compare. So analyze, then first of all, we will go to regression. First is linear, right? Later on, we will go to process macro. First, we have to check what is the, whether first, no, before that, first of all, we have to check correlation among all these variables. So we will check correlation, right? Then press OK. Now you can see here, this is our correlation table and this is our positive correlation and good correlation among all the, on the higher correlation on these, among all these variables. Now we will go to regression, and regression, before that, let's say this one is the linear. And dependent variable, you can see here, this is my dependent variable, behavior intention, and perception is this independent variable. I will press OK. So now this is the relationship between, you can see here, the R, adjusted R square, right? In between, I mean, this is our predictor, right? Z score of perception about the EV. Only one predictor we have taken, right? This is the, and this is significant, right? And coefficients, when we have to check, like, I mean, this is the unstandardized coefficient 0.936, right? Then we will compare later on. After that, what we have to do, we have to go to again analyze, then regression, then again linear. And now what we have to do, now we will take it together. This one is the government policy also. Now again, we have to press OK. Now you can see what is the impact on this. Now this is the unstandard. Now you can see 0.844. Earlier it was 0.936, but in the presence of the government policy, now it is the, this is the 0.844, and but both are significant, right? Both these values are significant. Now we would like to calculate, this is the regression linear, right? And we will press next, and this interaction effect, right? Interaction we had already in through the transform variables we had calculated, right? This is known as the hierarchical regression, right? In the first stage, again, I'm repeating this process because otherwise you will not understand. This one is the behavior intention. I will shift here as a dependent variable. Perception EV here is independent. Government policy is also independent variable, right? In the one go we had given. Then next is, here is the next one is interaction effect we would like to see. So then we will press OK. So now this table is, we have received interaction effect. If you could see here, that is 0.301. That means it is not significant. Interaction effect, it's not significant because this value is greater than 0.05. Here is, you can see here, this is the significant, right? 0.301, 0.330. I mean, both of them, they are significant, but interaction effect is not significant. We have checked through spss, right? Now what we have to do, okay, fine. Before that, we would like to see their graphs also. What are their relationship? We can see here, fine, scatter, okay, fine. Here is, we can take it. This one is the, okay, reset. I mean, we will reset. We will take a scatter chart and we will press here. Now x-axis, y-axis. X-axis, we will take it only. This one is the we will take an independent variable on the y-axis. Dependent variable, we will take it on the y-axis, and x-axis we have to take on the x-axis. So now press OK. Now this is the relationship. Okay, fine. We will take some this line also. Right. Now you can see here this relationship we have taken on the y-axis behavior intention, on x-axis we have taken perception about the EV. So now you can see here this is the positive relationship, right? Right. If the perception will increase, definitely behavior intention would also increase. I mean, this is the positive relationship, and we have to check once more in between another dependent. Now we have to shift here is the government policy also, that is also dependent variable. Right. So we will take it here, and now again we will press OK. So there is also again now what we have to do, elements fit line on total, right? So we will apply this thing. So now you can see here that is also a positive correlation, right? It is not a negative rule. They are not inversely proportional. They are positively going on. So now we will come to the now through process macro analyze, right? Regression. Then we will go to process. After process, you can see here, this is my behavior intention is my y variable, right? That is always a dependent variable. Now x variable is my perception of EV, and moderator. If we see government policy in my case is moderator. As I've shown you here, I'm sorry, this is not the covariate, this is the moderator. So moderator variable y. Now you can see here templates. I think I had opened up some templates also. Templates are okay. My templates are right. These are my templates. So I have downloaded these templates. I had already explained you in my previous video also, model 1. So we are running this model 1, x to y, and this is the moderator. I had already explained you the same thing, perception of EV, behavioral intention, then this is the government policy. The same model we would like to apply here. The model number, this is model number 1, and this is the statistical representation of this model. This is the dependent variable, this is independent variable, this is the moderator, and this is the xn means interaction. So what is the advantage of the process macro? Process macro is the advantage. You can see here, I would like to show you. In this, you had calculated interaction, right? You had calculated interaction, but through process macro there is no need you have to calculate interaction. Automatically through process macro there is some programming, right, through which automatically it would calculate interaction effect also. So now what we have to do, through process macro we will go to analyze, right? I was just okay, fine, analyze, regression, linear, and this one is the sorry, this one is the analyze, regression, process macro. We will select process macro, and we had already shifted. This is our dependent variable, this is our independent variable, and this is our Z score government policy is a moderator, right? And model number, you can see a number of the models, because as you have seen in my template, model number is 1. We are going to opt, right? You can see here model number 2 also. This is model number 2 when there are the 2 moderator M and W also. Then we will apply, and this is the statistical representation of this model. Model number 3, right? And model, this is the statistical representation, and model number 4. Model number 4 we had, this is the mediation. This is not the moderation, because this X leads to M, M leads to Y. So this is the mediation. We had already applied in our mediation model number 4, but here is our case is moderator, and our model is this. So we will apply this one in our statistical, in our SPSS calculation also. Now where we were, Right. So this one is, and 95 confidence interval, 5,000 bootstrap sampling. Right now we will press, and I think no more. Long variables name I accept result. I mean long variable names means when the your variable name is more than 8 characters. If you will click on this, and automatically it will take it. So it would also consider. Now we have to press OK. Now we can see it with little bit longer time, but now all the calculations are here. Right. So now we can see here. Can we increase this size? Right. Right. Here is X, Y is behavioral intention, X is perception about EV, W is government policy. That means it is a moderator. Sample size is 250, right? This is the R value. This is the R value. You will click here and you can copy this value also in your Word document. Here is, we can paste these values. I think there would be visibility will be here. Now you can see here, right? So here in this model number 1 we had opted, right, as per template. Behavioral intention Y, X is our, this one is the perception about the EV. And when we talk about government policy, that is our moderator, right? So 250 sample size. Now you can see coefficient. You can see here, this one is the value is not significant. Interaction effect is not significant. You can see here, is not significant. But if we talk about perception about EV, it is significant. Government policy, it's also significant. But interaction effect, when we will see, actually interaction effect only we will see in our continuous variable when we are taking metric data. But when we are taking categorical data, there is no interaction effect is required. Simply we have to consider moderator, like by like what are the working women, and those are the housewives. I mean, we can compare this kind of data, male and female wise, we can compare this data. That is the categorical, and I'm sure definitely in the next video I'm going to discuss this one is the categorical moderator also. So here is, you can see here, this is the interaction effect is because it is greater than 0.05, it is not significant, but there's the significant. So highly slightly there is the difference, right? So we can take it, we can say moderator effect, but it's very light. If we can ignore it, that would also be considered not much effect, right, by the moderator in my case. But in your case, when you're going to calculate your data, it can be possible your moderator, it can be possible this one is the relationship between your dependent variable and independent variable. It can be possible this relationship can become weaker, right? And that would be more dominating. It can be possible. So in our SPSS file, in SPSS output, you can see here, these are the relationship. Yes, of course, you can also present in your research paper, right? This kind of relationship is existing, that is positive relationship is existing, and this is our the equation you can see here, that is. And if we talk about our previously we had already calculated individually one by one this relationship, and you can compare this relationship when we have taken into consideration only one variable, that is the Z score of the perception of the EV. Then this time B value, I mean understand as coefficient, we can see here 0.936, but now it is in the presence of the government policy, it is reduced to 0.844, right? And the same thing, it is reflecting in your process macro results. Yes, we can see here, right? It was 0.85. Yes, of course, that is same, that is similar, right? You can see here, we can compare it 0.8508, and in the when we had simply running, that was the our SPSS 0.85. Both the values are exactly same. So simple, there is the only one difference between this one is the process macro and SPSS. In the SPSS file, through SPSS, when we are running, we have to calculate first interaction, and in the process macro, there is no need. You have to calculate prior interaction, and automatically it will generate interaction also, right? So I'm sure this video would be helpful to you. and you will apply it on your data set. And I'm sure in the next video we are going to run moderator effect on the categorical variables. Thank you, everyone.